Webster defines a journey as traveling from one place to another. But in Journey to the Overland, you'll do a lot more than just travel. From the moment your character leaves his hometown, you'll begin to experience the encounters and adventures that could only take place in Journey to the Overland. Whether you're new to fantasy gaming or an old role-playing veteran, you'll feel right at home, yet uncomfortably new to the world of Overland. Far more than a board game, but not quite role-playing, Journey to the Overland combines the best elements of each. Set in a world where sorcery, magic, and might are the greatest powers, and surviving is the only law, Journey to the Overland gives you what the other games won't: a chance to tackle it all alone. With its unique encounter cards, various scenarios, and extensive use of non-playing characters, you have everything you need to enjoy hours of travels and adventures. But the only way to truly appreciate the commitment and dedication that went into this game is to grab your favorite figure, grab the dice, and start playing. Welcome to a way of gaming you will never leave, because once you begin it, there's no returning from. A journey to the Overland. Previously on Journey to the Overland. Hey, welcome back, fellow travelers. Welcome to the next episode of Journey to the Overland. We are in day 1 of week 26. And as you could see in the previous episode recap, Maverick is basically trying to recover from being terribly lost. He was trying to get down here to Dwarf Town and eventually to Dwarf Haven, which is right there. And in the last game, as you could see, he kept getting lost until eventually, he wound up way up here near King's Harbor. Now, actually, I think I have a solution to that, because I was actually doing something wrong during the game. And I'm actually glad to know that I was doing something wrong, because otherwise it would look like in the game that, heck, there's places you could almost never get to because you just keep getting lost. That's not how it works. And so we'll see that. I'll tell you that when we get there, though. And it does deal with getting lost. So before we do that, this is day 1, week 26. Let's check our weather. And I'm not shuffling these cards because I don't want some of those other cards to come back up right now. So I might just go through what's on there and then shuffle them. So instead of putting them at the bottom, I may just simply start putting them to the side. So this is good news, meaning we're not in the mountains. There's been an avalanche. On characters of mountain hex must roll for falling. 70% the chance if hit the character for falling rocks. Wow. So we're not in the mountains, even though we're heading that way. So we're in open land. This is the first thing we are going to travel. I think I paid Zamora because I had been forgetting to do that weekly, but I did catch her up. I've got about 35 gold, 2 silver. I've got enough food, 10 units for me and 3 for the 2 of us. And after that, I'll be taking 2 each out of the other one. I've got 2 wounds right now. I've got 5 kills. I got my broadsword and my dagger. So, let's roll for an encounter. There's a 75% chance in open land. I done did this so many times I should know this by heart. But, let's see. using my cheatography sheet. It says Overland 75%. So we'll probably have an encounter. I'm going to roll the black dice. See what we get. Oh, 0, 4. Couldn't see that. It was like a 0 and a 4. So I might start using this white dice as the 10 since it actually has 10 on there. But although that would be confusing for 0. Anyway, I rolled a 0, 4, so I do have an encounter. Let's pull that. Oh, sweet. I like this encounter. I haven't never got it in the game. You discover a large damaged ship 6 hexes west of your location. If you hire 10 workers, what does that say? 10 workers, what is that? Buy 10 hammers and nails and wood, you and your men can repair the ship in 4 weeks. However, you must then purchase at least 6 quarter horses to pull the ship at the rate of 2 hexes per day to an ocean's hex. However, because of the minimal repairs you were able to do on your own, the ship can only move at the rate of 4 hexes per day and cannot be armed with any weapons. Oh, that sucks. So where's this ship at? Let's see where it's at. It's 6 hexes west of me. So 6 hexes west. I'm right here. So as we go west on a hex sheet, you have to go up 1, down 1, up 1, down 1. Oh, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, 6. It's right here. So I could literally, I wouldn't even have to drag it that far to get it in the ocean. Oh, can you see that? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's right there. So hold on a second. Let me get a marker. Okay, so you can see I've got the hex marked with the ship in it. So now this is an interesting choice. Do I turn around and head toward this ship? I could stop at King's Castle and try to hire the workers and buy the hammers if I have enough gold. So what did it say? The horses I could get later, I'm thinking. It says 10 workers, and I have to be able to pay them for 4 weeks. Wow. 10 hammers, nails, and wood. So let me just check something. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is there's really no specific group called workers when you seek to hire help. So obviously, unless I run into a slave guy and I buy some slaves, which there is a card for that, then I'd have to hire somebody here and basically use them as a worker. The best bet would be the small farm boys, which that you pay them 1 gold a day. So 10 of them would be 10 gold pieces a day for 4 weeks. That's 70 times 4 would be 280 gold. Holy cow. That's the cheapest option. Everybody else is multiple gold pieces a day. The hammers and stuff I could definitely get. Then it says you have to pay them up front. So if I needed them for 4 weeks, I'd have to pay them for all 4 weeks. So I really don't have the ability to take advantage of that, unfortunately. That would have been actually a nice side quest, because it would have opened up some other options for me somewhere, somewhere later down the road. It would have gave me an ability sometime later to, sail, ply the seas on a ship without having to pay for the entire ship. I couldn't have armed it, which is actually kind of important in this game, to arm your vessels. But I could have like made trips through the coast, and I think the normal ships go 6 hexes, but this only one will go 4. But still, when you're on the ocean, you roll on the ocean adventure table, so you don't have to roll on the regular adventure table either. Although there is weather that could affect you, but yeah, that was actually almost fun. You gotta have some gold, you just gotta have some gold. Okay, so with that encounter resolved, we can move our 2 hexes. So that gets us up here into 1411. Zamora's with me. We'll take care of our stuff for the evening, and then we will do the next day. I think by tomorrow we'll be just about heading back into the mountains. And I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, here comes the rolling to get lost. But I'm going to show you something. Where did I put my pencil? Oh, here we go. Okay. So I got to do the food for the night. Of course, I don't know what encounter we might have. So I'm hoping to make this a pretty quick session. As quick is in this game. So I did my food. I could try to go hunting, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want any distractions. So let's just pull the next day's weather card. Oh, I got to mark that day off. 1 second. I got to update my journal. Okay, so I journaled that. And just to give you an example of how I do my journal entries, because I'd like to keep them short, but I like to have a record of kind of the decisions the characters made. I'm going to read it to you. So it says here, heard of a broken ship not far from here. Had I the men and tools, I would have tried to fix it and get it seaborne. But low on funds, that was not a real option. So I pressed on to Dwarftown. And it's just that simple. I mean, that's a very big part of the game, and I keep emphasizing that. But, I mean, if you're going to role play and story play, especially solo, you know, you want this record, you want this journal, you want to feel like you're Robinson Crusoe, right? And you're keeping a record of your life and times on the island. That's your story. And that's simply what the adventure journal is. It represents your story. I haven't been doing as many pictures as I did early on because I was going through the pages a lot quicker. And that's something I'm going to try to address in the next revised character sheet that I do. I want to put a block in there specifically where you can only draw your picture for that week, and then you know, still leave the room for your notes, because I do like that. The original sheets I did for my game had a block like that, and then I think for some reason I took it out. I think maybe I didn't know how to set it up in Microsoft Publisher or something. But okay, so let's get the next day started and do the weather card. Let's hope our weather holds up. Oh, this is the event card. Fox hunt. So I don't know. I'm gonna put that at the bottom. Matter of fact, I didn't even pull the event for this week. So let me leave this out then. The king has announced a royal fox hunt. All level. I'm level 2. May proceed to King's Castle to participate in the hunt on Wednesday, which is day 3. That's tomorrow. This is day 2. So I could do this. Characters will leave from the King's Castle each day and choose a hunt activity for that day. On a roll of 1 through 10, the fox has been spotted. The character who spots it can then attempt to catch it. The fox has agility 78. I have no way of catching that unless I bought some equipment. If you catch it, the hunt ends. Whoever catches the fox receives a 500 gold reward and a free audience with the king. Wow. Wow. So let's look at this. I am level 2 now. I am 1, 2, 3. I'm probably 2 days from King's Castle. So if I had pulled that yesterday, I actually could have made it to King's Castle by Wednesday. As it is, if I left today, I would only get here because I'd be here at the end of the day. Wednesday, I would just get into the castle. But I couldn't go hunting because I would have already done my daily action for that day. So, unfortunately, that's not an option. I would definitely have loved to try to have got that 500 gold pieces and the free audience with the king. Because you could use that audience, for example, to say you want to become a squire. You've got your 500 gold pieces. Now you could basically, you know, get that free audience and use that as an opportunity under the, you know, check to become a squire or basically a knight. But I'm not going to be able to do that now. I'm too far away. I should have pulled that earlier. Because what I could have did was sold my sword and some other stuff and bought a good bow and then maybe even a spear and used them in the hunt and had a somewhat chance of catching it. That's a high agility. But, I mean, and I might have even been able to have Zamora help me. Although I don't know if that would have been considered cheating. But, oh, she couldn't have went on the hunt because she's not level 2, I don't think. Is she? Oh, no, she's level 3. So she could have went on the hunt with us, I guess. But, yeah, that's not going to be an option. So let's check the weather for day 2 of this week. Goodness, why do I keep putting all the event cards? I know my box got turned around. So, oh crap, another earthquake. I don't have any animals or horses. So me and her have to make an agility check. Whoever fails takes 20 wounds. How many of these cards are in there? So I can swear I've pulled this before. You know what, I'm going to go through my deck before next game and just pull all of these but one out. There shouldn't be more than one of these in the deck distribution. But I combined 2 decks together. That's why I think this keeps coming up. Or maybe it's a card like it. Anyway, I don't see any way of getting around this. So let's make the agility checks. I'm probably going to fail. When I was rolling him up, agility was not high on my list. So his agility is 51. Let's just get it over with. I use the black as my 10 die. He fails. Hopefully she will pass. And we won't be stuck in this hex. Her agility is 85. She passes, which is what I needed. So now let's see if she passes a muscle check. She can pull me out. Holy cow. Her muscle is 32. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take 20 wounds. That doesn't even bother me as much as being stuck in the hex. What does it say? For 3 days? But I guess she could do a muscle check every day. Let's try this muscle check. 32. That's a 30. That counts. I'm counting that. That is a 30. This is what she rolled. 3. And you can't see it. 3 and 0. So that's a pass. I am counting that roll. So she rolled a 30. She passed and she pulled me out. Good old Zamora, man. She's going to get a raise for that. If I ever get any real money. I'll take my 20 wounds. So that puts me down to 76. So resting is going to become important again soon. But she passed. So she passed her check. And then she pulled me out of the hole that I fell into. So really, it doesn't say if you pass, I guess we can keep moving. Because it says you'll be stuck in the hex if you don't pass. It says, and will be stuck in their hex for 3 days unless another character pulls them out. Which is what she did. So we can keep moving. The problem is, do I want to have an encounter with these 20 wounds? Or do I want to rest today? Nah, we're not doing all that. She pulled me out. I got the damage I got. Check for a counter, 75%. No encounter. I rolled an 81. So that is real good. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what my dice rolled. I meant to move it somewhere else. But I rolled an 81. So I got no encounter. So now we're going to be moving to, which will get us into Dwarftown. Right? So if you look here, you go 1, 2. And I said previously that Dwarftown is in open land. So I don't have to roll to get lost. Because it sits kind of right at before you get into the mountain area. So we will enter Dwarftown. I have plenty of food. I have, okay, so we're in Dwarftown. I even have some money to pay for lodging, to be honest with you. So, plus it'll protect us from any more of those weird weather events. So let me journal this and I'll be right back. Okay, so let me tell you how I journaled this. I put, word reached me of a royal fox hunt at King's Castle. It is taking place on the 3rd day of this week, and I am now too far to make it to participate. Worse yet, another earthquake struck, and I fell into an open crevice. Zamora, however, was able to keep her footing and then pulled me out. I am wounded again, but Dwarftown is in sight, and we will press on. So you can see he's journaling what's... Oops. Sorry about that. So you can see he's journaling what's taking place as he makes his way back to Dwarftown. So we're in Dwarf Town. I still have to pay for our lodging for the day. And I have to do our food, which we have the food. So that's no problem. The lodging, I'm going to have to sell some gold. So I'll take 5 gold pieces, which will give me 15 silver. Which will give me 17. I paid 10 for the night. That leaves 7 silver pieces. So it may become an issue as far as our gold. I may have to sell something else. I haven't brought in any gold in a while. I'm trying to see what I have. I wonder if I still... I thought I kept a shield or something like that. So, yeah, I did keep... I kept a large shield. I have the mountain rope and the lantern. I have my sword and my dagger. So, I may wind up selling that shield if I need it for lodging. Because I'm probably going to try to rest at least a couple of days before I start heading toward Dwarf Haven. So, but that got us through day 2, week 26. We're now on day 3. And we will see how things go. Okay, so I pulled the weather card. It's raining outside. That probably won't have an effect. I went to the table. A large shield is worth 25 gold. So that would get me about, what, 12 and a half gold pieces, because you get half of what it's worth. So 12, that'd be about 37 silver pieces. So that would give me enough to pay for 4 more nights of lodging, which I could then use to rest up, at least get 10 of these wounds healed. So I think that's what we're going to do today, is just rest. The problem is we're on day 3. 4 days would put me back to the next week. And of course I'd have to pay some more of 5 gold again, which I'm running low. And I have to be able to bring her with me to Dwarf Town to help my chances of Dwarf Haven, to help my chances of getting admitted to the Dragon Slayers. But I've got 30 gold, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do it like that, you know, and then we will see. We will see at the end of. Well, let's just do 3 days to get through this week. So that'll be day 3, 4. Wait, day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, that's 5 days I can do to just close the week out with resting. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I want to show you this as I was wrapping that other week up. I pulled the 4 weather cards because I picked 4 days of rest. So these are the weather cards I picked in this order. So this was the first day I rested, rain. The second day I rested, healed 3 additional wounds. The third day I rested, I had to eat 1 additional meal. And the 4th day I rested, was you add to your movement. So basically the best one was this. So I healed 3 additional wounds. So I rested 4 days. That would normally be 12 wounds healed. But because of that other card, that actually was 15 wounds healed. So that put me back up from 76 to 86 to 91. My endurance is back at 91 instead of 98. I had to eat an additional meal. Now, one other thing I started doing was, I stopped paying for Zamora's meals, because I have been paying for her meals, and I realized since I hired her, she could actually pay for her own meals. She wouldn't pay for my stuff because she's not an NPC comrade. So I created a separate entry, buying her food, tracking off her meals. The lodging doesn't matter because I would have to pay for my own lodging anyway. She would not necessarily pay for any lodging. She would just leave. You know, if she's not planning on being there, and I charge her for the lodging. So, and plus we both can stay in the same lodging. I think it's up to 3 or 5 characters. So we're starting a new week. Let's check the event for this week. Hopefully it won't hold me up. Revolt. What is this? I don't have any troops. So the king is always worried about somebody trying to overthrow him. So we get those more often than we should. The weather. So there's a hurricane. So obviously if I had been on this ship this week, that could have got dicey. But we're not on the ship. So now we've been in Dwarftown now for about 4 or 5 days since day 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about 5 days. We are going to Dwarfhaven. Now the last time we did this, you remembered I got lost trying to get into the mountains because Dwarfhaven is higher up in the mountains than Dwarftown is. Well, actually, I made a mistake. And the mistake was this. If you read the rules for getting lost, and I'll see if I can find them here. So, what page is getting lost on? Well, I always quote these pages in my videos, then I don't remember them by the next video. I should do a cheat sheet listing the most common pages, most common sections of the rules you will reference in the pages, because I've kind of got this book tabbed, but that doesn't always work. I know it's in, I think it's in the traveling section. Alright, becoming lost. So if we read the rules on becoming lost, you know, you got your table, where you're heading. But the part that I missed, I didn't pick up the last time was, and where is it at? Some of you may spot it from before me. To check for getting lost. Characters, they must roll their full movement rate. So we've done all that. We've obviously gotten lost a lot. But where's the part that I found that helped me out? It might not have been in this section. Okay, their movement before actually moving. Getting lost, let's see. Okay. Of course I can't find it now. It's in here. Alright, so wait, I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. This is why I kept missing this rule, because it wasn't in the section on getting lost. It's in the section on your daily activities. But this is the rule here. You must always check for getting lost when exiting a town or castle, but never when entering one. Right? So, if we go to where I am at right now, because these two castles are located next to each other, this town and Dwarfhaven, I don't have to check for getting lost entering Dwarfhaven. In fact, if I had come around this way the last time and tried to enter through here, I wouldn't have had to check for getting lost. And so that's a rule that's easy to miss, but it's very, very important to your gameplay. Now you notice it did say you have to check when you are leaving a town, but never when entering one. So the funny thing is, if I was leaving Dwarftown and going into the mountains, I'd have to check for getting lost. But because I'm entering Dwarfhaven, I don't have to check for getting lost, right? Because I'm entering another town. So that's a very important rule. That's a very important rule. So I will not have to check for getting lost entering the mountains. I will have to check for an encounter in the mountains, but I think it's 45%. So let me roll that just to get this established. So I rolled an 86. So there's no encounter. So we have officially entered Dwarfhaven on week 1 of day 27, or day 1, of week 27. Okay, so we're at a very crucial stage in the game for my character. He's going to try to become a dragon slayer. This is the second day of week 27, year of our Lord. Now, the first thing he has to do is gain an audience with the king at Dwarf Haven. I have nothing to help me with this audience. If he does gain the audience, he has to pass a presence check with, I'm not a dwarf, but you would get plus 20. If you pass it, you can start the training. If you don't, you cannot return to train until somehow your presence score has increased, right? So you'd have to have traveled or ventured or something to kind of increase your presence. And the presence score kind of represents both your appearance and your stature in the kingdom. So having a high one is very significant, which means you'd have to return after your stature has increased. So I'm going to do this strategically, because it really doesn't help me if I get the audience, but then I fail this check. Before I even try to get the audience, I'm going to have Zamora try to cast her, I think it's a spell called Conversion on me, to make me look and appear as a dwarf for today. I think she can do that once a day. That way, if I do get the audience, I will know I have the plus 20. Because otherwise, I could get the audience, she could fail her spell attempt, and then I'm screwed. I'm trying to roll, you know, based on my own presence score, which is not, I don't think my presence is low, but it's definitely not a guarantee. Let me see what my presence is. I haven't used it that much. So it's 63. So that's not good. 83 is much better. So first let's check. I'm going to check Zamora's, this conversion spell, just to make sure whether it lasts all day or whatever. Okay, so it says it will only last for one day. So each day she's going to have to cast it successfully. So I think that's pretty much the only thing. So let's roll here, because if she doesn't pass this check, it doesn't make any sense for me to go trying to knock on the door of the king of the doors. Her magic skill score is 50%. She's actually done pretty good. Come on. So this is a very important roll for me. Ah! She failed it. 71. So we're going to have to try again tomorrow. What should we do today? I guess we're just going to rest another day. Okay, so this is day 2. We're going to roll again. The weather, it's like there's a blizzard outside, but that's not going to bother me. I need a 50 or less. This is very important. 63, she fell. Oh, man. So we're going to try again tomorrow. All right, here's the mud puddles for day 3. Again, we don't care about that. Let's try again. Yes! She rolled a 15! Yes! Now, that's only part 1. I still have to get the audience. So, we go to the seek an audience table. Oh my goodness. I can imagine, I can see the spell as she's sitting there. We're standing in our room in the lodge. And she's trying day after day. And, you know, I go, do I look like a dwarf yet? No. The next day, you know, blue. How about now? No. Then the next day, blue. And finally, I say, what? What? She's like, it worked. It worked. Right? So I go running out the room to the king's tower, banging on the door to seek an audience. And so that's where we're at, folks. We are at this audience table. Come on, come on. So I have to pay a 10 gold fee, I think, or is that just news and information? Maybe a town or castle, and seek an audience to see them. So they see this little funny looking dwarf heading up. So that's the table. I don't really say if there's anything that I can do, but I know I need to roll high, but not too high, because I don't want to get that 6 thing again. But this is just a straight up roll now. Oh, that's off the board. 84, oh my goodness, I think I know which one that is. Daggone it. The mayor has fallen ill crap. Oh, I don't have anything. Do I have any? I don't have anything. Oh, shoot. I hate that result. I hate that result. Ah. Well, we're going to have to come back tomorrow. Oh, man. So there's fog out today. Again, who cares? So me and Zamora are back in the room. And once again, she tries to spell. Poor thing. I feel like I'm wearing her out. But this is very important. She fails miserably. So now I have to start deciding whether I'm going to go and try to get this audience without the benefit of the illusion. Because I'm running out of money. I've got to pay her at the end of this week for another week. Because she has to be paid in advance. I can show you what I look like. I haven't even deducted everything yet, but I've been keeping track. So I have 43 silver, but 40 of that is gone. I have 4 days of food, but those are going to be gone. And I only have 5 gold pieces left. I do have a dagger or a broadsword I can sell. But it's looking like tomorrow is going to be my last best opportunity. Unless I just do this without the spell. So what I'm going to do is, since I can't afford to just sit around another day, I'm going to go and try to get the audience. You know, my presence may have to be good enough. So let's try the audience, seek an audience with the mayor today. Oh my God, I wrote a 07. I know that's bad. I think that's the one where you get thrown out. Oh my goodness, this is going from bad to worse. You gotta be kidding me. The mayor has been angered by your rudeness. No visitors allowed, and you must pay 100 gold pieces or spend 3 days in jail. And I don't have 100 gold pieces. At least I don't think I do. If I go to jail, Zamora's gonna be gone when I get out. I don't even know if I have enough stuff to sell to come up with 100 gold pieces. Which I don't. So let's see what happens when you get put in jail. Okay, so this is how jail works. Sometimes a character may be imprisoned or jailed. If a character is in prison, all his possessions are taken and held until he is released. So that's good. The character then must determine how long he will be held, unless it is already stated. So it has already been stated for me. Each day he is in prison, the character loses 1 point of endurance. So 3 days isn't bad. Alright, at the end of his time in jail, the character must pay a 100 silver coin bond in order to be released, unless it has already been stated that he will be tried. Well, they didn't say anything about no trial. So then this is all about it does not pay the bond, blah, blah, blah. It says thieves can try to escape, blah, blah, blah. Then it starts talking about having a warrant issued for you. So basically I'm going to be thrown in jail for 3 days. And then when I get out, I have to pay 150 silver pieces bond. Or else I go on trial. But, yeah, so I guess that's how this episode is going to end, with Maverick in jail. She's obviously going to leave because I can't afford to pay her while I'm in jail. Not to mention I need my own money. I don't even know if I have enough to pay the bond, which I guess I'll have to find out when I get out of jail. You know, it was that last row. You know, I tried to push it. I had a plan. I went against my own plan. And I went against my own plan. And I tried to push my luck. And once again, it's turned. So the next time you see Maverick, hopefully he'll be out of jail. And then, you know, he's going to have to think of what he's going to do next. I did not fail the presence check after seeing the king, so I am not barred from trying again. But wow, I think I need to find some kind of healing potion or something. Even if it's just one potion. You know, because if I had had that, I would have been able to see him on that first day when the spell was in effect. But there you go, folks. That's kind of how the game goes. You overcome one obstacle and you run into another, and you're constantly managing your character's life. But at least I got through the getting lost thing, so that'll come in helpful later if we decide, for example, to head up to Elf Mountain. That's where the Pathfinder resides. There was some things like the fox hunt, which I might have been able to do, that had, the 500 gold potential. So there's a lot of options out here still for him. I mean, Maverick's a pretty young character. He's pretty strong and robust. This little stint in jail, will give him time to think, update his journal. Take care, folks. My name is Maverick. I'm from the town of Milesdale, and I live in the Overland. The Overland is a dangerous place. You never know what you will run into, and you never know what you will find. When at all possible, never ever travel alone. And when all else fails, it's better to run and live to fight another day. And in the end, if you have faith, hope will light your way.